Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Connecting the Dots, Friday, May 9th. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
We're both from Snarful Solutions Group, and we're here to connect the dots for you on the tech news that really matters.
That's the plan.
Happy Casual Friday, by the way. You know, I spent all morning trying to think up a good tech joke.
Well, boy.
But then it just crashed.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my kind of casual Friday.
Huh. Okay, well, let's hope our deep dive today is a bit more stable than that.
Fingers crossed. Okay, quick look at the weather. It's a bit of a mixed bag across the country.
Seems typical for spring.
Yeah, if you're in the eastern or southern U.S., keep an eye out. Showers, thunderstorms, potential for some severe weather, especially eastern North Carolina and Florida.
Okay, good to know.
And up in the Northeast, expect heavy rain right through Saturday. Could lead to some flooding, so those flood watches are up. Stay safe.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, here in sunny Sacramento, a nice toasty 93 degrees.
Wow, quite the contrast. It's a good reminder, isn't it? The diverse landscape we're all dealing with technologically and, well, geographically.
Indeed. Quick check on the markets then. The Dow Jones closed yesterday, that's Thursday, May 8th, at 400,368.45.
Okay.
And the S&P 500 finished up at 563.94.
So markets seem to be holding steady as we head into the weekend.
Seems that way. All right, so today we're diving into 3 key tech stories really making headlines. We want to break down what they actually mean for, your tech world.
Sounds good. What do we got?
First up, Huawei's pretty ambitious launch of its first Harmony OS laptop. Then the pressure Broadcom's putting on VMware users.
Ah, yes, that one's been making waves.
And finally, a really fascinating study on the, unexpected social downsides of using AI at work.
Interesting. Okay.
So let's kick things off with Huawei. They're launching their first laptop running their own Harmony OS 5, and that's coming up soon, May 19th.
Right, and this follows their Windows license expiring next March, which is directly because of the ongoing U.S. sanctions.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here, I think, is how these geopolitical pressures are, directly fueling this kind of technological innovation and independence.
Independence is the word. Huawei, facing all these restrictions, is essentially being forced, you could say, to forge its own path in the PC market.
Absolutely. And this isn't just, a new laptop. It feels like a really significant stride for Huawei in building out its own self-sufficient tech ecosystem.
They got the phones, the tablets.
Right. Phones and tablets already on Harmony OS, so adding PCs feels pivotal. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? For you, the listener, will we see a future where you have to think about geopolitical alignment when you choose your entire tech stack?
That's a critical question. It could potentially limit your access to maybe the best tools from different regions, depending on how things shake out.
Yeah.
And this move by Huawei, it really underscores a trend towards what some people are calling technological sovereignty, especially for nations trying to reduce reliance on foreign tech amidst all these tensions.
The implications down the line for global tech standards, interoperability, they could be huge. So this new laptop, it's going to feature Huawei's AI assistant, Celia, and they're promising a growing library of native Harmony OS apps.
That native app part is crucial.
It is. Plus, they're really emphasizing compatibility with existing mobile apps. They're aiming for, over 2,000 by the end of this year?
That's ambitious.
And they're including essential productivity tools right away, like WPS Office and DingTalk.
That strategy, bridging the mobile and desktop app experience, it's smart. People are already in those mobile ecosystems, right?
Right.
So making that continuity work on a laptop could make the transition feel, a lot smoother. And including things like WPS Office addresses those immediate needs.
And the interface itself sounds interesting. From what we've seen, it's like a hybrid, blending traditional PC elements with smartphone stuff.
Yeah, like a software shortcut bar that's kind of like the Mac OS dock, apparently.
And a customizable home screen, widgets, icons, that mobile-like flexibility.
That blended approach probably aims to appeal to both sides, existing PC users and people more comfortable with mobile interfaces. It's trying to feel familiar, but also new.
Good point. And we should remember, Harmony OS has already seen quite a bit of success on mobile in China.
Right. Reports said it even surpassed Apple's iOS market share there late last year.
Yeah. And Huawei's president of tablets and PCs actually said they've fully entered the era of HarmonyOS for their devices.
That established mobile user base is a big advantage moving into PLEs. It suggests people in China are getting comfortable with the HarmonyOS ecosystem, which they can then leverage.
And technically speaking, HarmonyOS NXT for mobile, the beta from last October, that one doesn't support Android apps anymore.
Right, which is a big signal. That really shows their commitment to building a truly independent platform.
Totally. With integrated AI, powered by their own Pangu large language model.
Which is like their sophisticated AI brain understanding and generating text.
Exactly. And those AI features, like faster app launching, better performance overall, they're almost certainly going to be part of this new laptop experience too.
That move away from Android support on mobile, it's bold. It's a clear commitment to a fully native ecosystem. It presents challenges, obviously, with app availability at first, but it allows for much deeper integration and optimization of their own tech, especially that AI stuff.
Now, analysts are pointing out, while this is crucial for Huawei's PC business under sanctions, the biggest hurdle is probably going to be the app ecosystem.
Compared to Windows, it's vast.
Exactly. Growing and maturing that native app library. That's the challenge. Early signs suggest performance is okay for general tasks, but maybe limitations for specialized software. High-end gaming.
Definitely for gaming, probably.
Getting developers on board to build those native apps, that's going to be absolutely key.
It's the classic chicken and egg problem, isn't it? For any new platform, users want apps, developers want users. Huawei's success really hinges on how well they can incentivize developers and show the benefits of building specifically for HarmonyOS.
And all this is happening against that backdrop of the U.S.-China tech rivalry, those recent AI chip export restrictions.
Right. And Huawei is pushing hard on developing its own Ascend AI processors as a domestic alternative.
Backed by significant state investment, too, aiming for that semiconductor self-reliance.
So this laptop launch, it's more than just a product. It's really a strategic move in a much bigger geopolitical game. It's part of a national push for tech independence in key areas like AI and chips.
So what's the takeaway for you, the listener?
Well, it really illustrates these big shifts happening in the global tech world, the increasing competition between different ecosystems. If you're looking for alternatives, maybe outside the usual Windows Mac options, especially within the Chinese market, HarmonyOS on laptops, it could become a real player.
It could.
And it just underscores how much international relations can actually shape the technology that ends up in your hands. Precisely. It's a powerful reminder that the tech market isn't, monolithic. Global events can really spur new contenders, new platforms. Definitely something to watch closely.
Okay, let's switch gears then. Story number 2 involves Broadcom and VMware.
Ah, yes. The letters.
Right. It looks like Broadcom is sending out cease and desist letters, specifically to owners of VMware perpetual licenses whose support contracts have expired.
And what's really striking is just how aggressive this tactic feels. They're clearly trying to steer customers hard towards their subscription model.
It forces you, if you're in that position, to really reconsider relying on those perpetual licenses, doesn't it? Are you actually protected or just delaying a potentially expensive shift?
Yeah, exactly. Their aim seems pretty clear. Get these customers onto new subscription deals for VMware product bundles.
And the letters themselves, they're quite firm. They say, without active support, no new patches, no bug fixes, and they're telling users to stop installing updates.
Including maintenance releases, security fixes.
Right. With a tiny exception for really critical zero-day vulnerabilities in specific vSphere versions.
That extremely narrow exception says a lot. It essentially forces users to choose. Run potentially vulnerable software or move to a subscription. It's a big shift from how people traditionally viewed perpetual licenses.
And Broadcom's justification is basically applying any patches without a current subscription violates VMware's license. It's an infringement of their IP.
And they're hinting at legal action, audits.
Yeah. Now, if we connect this to the wider industry trend, we have seen a general shift towards subscriptions, right?
We have. But this feels particularly assertive. It's clearly driven by wanting to maximize revenue after they bought VMware back in November 2023.
That's when they stopped selling perpetual licenses too.
Right. And it really poses a question for you, the user. Is this a sign of things to come across the whole software industry? Will other companies follow suit?
It seems a lot of customers are not happy. Some are apparently choosing to just use VMware unsupported while they look for alternatives.
Taking the risk.
Others are resisting. And there are reports of people getting these letters almost immediately after their support lapse, even if they hadn't installed anything new. One person who'd apparently already migrated away from VMware still got a letter.
Wow. That suggests they're casting a really wide net, trying to convert anyone who ever held a license, maybe, regardless of current use.
Seems possible. Analysts mostly see this as Broadcom prioritizing, well, short-term profit, maybe at the expense of customer relations.
You have to wonder about that.
Yeah?
Alienating your user base. It might boost revenue now, but could it drive customers to competitors long-term? It erodes trust.
So what does this mean for you if your business, or maybe even you personally, rely on software with perpetual licenses? This is a really important heads up.
Definitely.
It highlights the risks of unsupported software and this increasing push towards subscriptions, which can seriously impact your budget and your tech choices. The key takeaway here for your own decisions is probably carefully review your software license agreements. Understand what happens when support expires.
And Broadcom's tactics, they might influence other vendors. So it's worth keeping an eye on how this plays out across the industry.
Yeah, this could set a precedent for how acquisitions and license model transitions are handled. Definitely encourages a proactive review of your own software deals. Maybe think about contingency plans.
Good advice.
All right, let's dive into our final story today. This one's about a new study from Duke University suggesting that using AI tools, think ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini at work, might actually damage your professional reputation.
That is really interesting and kind of unexpected, isn't it, given how much AI is being pushed as a productivity booster?
Yeah, totally. This study, it was published in PNAS, involved over 4,400 people, 4 different experiments, and they found that colleagues, managers, they tend to see people who use AI as, well, lazier.
Lazier, Ralph?
Lazier, less competent, less diligent, less independent, even less self-assured.
So even if the AI helps you get stuff done faster or better, there's like a social penalty, a perception that relying on the AI somehow diminishes your own skill or effort.
Seems like it. The researchers called it a dilemma. AI boosts productivity, sure, but using it might negatively impact how you're viewed. It makes you think, how will you navigate that perception? Balance using the tools with maintaining your professional standing.
It really highlights how important human perception still is in the workplace.
Yeah.
Even when tech offers clear benefits and output, the social side, the reputational angle, that can have real consequences for your career, team dynamics.
And what's really noteworthy is this negative view wasn't just one group. It was consistent across different age groups, genders, occupations.
It's not just like older managers being skeptical.
Apparently not. It seems to be a pretty broad bias.
That consistency suggests it's maybe tapping into something more fundamental, a perception about the value of human effort versus relying on, artificial help.
Maybe. One experiment even found that people who just imagine using AI at work expected to be judged more negatively.
So they anticipated this stigma.
Yeah, and they were less willing to say they'd used AI because of it.
That anticipation really reinforces that this social stigma exists, or at least people believe it exists. They're aware of the potential risks.
Now, it's interesting to contrast this with a different study. This one looked at the Danish labor market, 2023-2024.
Okay, what did that find?
It found that even with widespread adoption of AI chatbots in some jobs, accountants, software developers, customer support, there hasn't been a significant impact on overall wages or employment levels.
So a different picture on the macro level. While the Duke study focused on individual perception, the Danish one looked at broader economic outcomes.
Exactly. It suggests maybe those widespread fears of mass job displacement from AI might be, well, premature, at least for now.
Or maybe the impact is just different than expected.
Well, the Danish study also found that AI adoption actually created new tasks for some workers.
Oh, like what?
Things like detecting AI use by students, needing someone to review AI-generated content, learning how to craft effective prompts for the AI.
So managing the AI, basically.
Yeah. Which might be offsetting some of the time savings that AI provides.
That's a crucial insight. Tech advances often don't just eliminate jobs. They reshape work, right? Create new roles, new responsibilities, managing, validating, interacting with AI output. That's becoming a new skill set.
So bringing this back to you, the listener, as AI tools get more integrated into work, this research gives some really valuable food for thought on the social dynamics. AI can be powerful for productivity, yes, but maybe be mindful of how colleagues and bosses perceive its use.
Be aware of the potential social cost.
But then the Danish study offers that wider view. The overall job market impact might be more gradual, and new AI-related roles are actually emerging.
Right.
It encourages you to think critically, really, about both the benefits and the potential hidden costs, social or otherwise, of bringing AI into your workflow.
Exactly. Be conscious of the social context around tech adoption. Gains in efficiency might come with unforeseen social stuff. And the new tasks highlight that need for adaptability, continuous learning. The workplace keeps evolving.
Okay, so that wraps up our 3 stories. Today we unpacked Huawei's big step towards tech independence with HarmonyOS on laptops.
Then the pressure VMware users are feeling from Broadcom's licensing changes.
And finally, that surprising study on the potential social costs of using AI at work, balanced against the look at its broader labor market impact so far.
A lot to digest, for sure. The tech landscape just keeps moving so fast.
It really does. And considering all these developments, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? As technology keeps evolving at this pace, how are we going to effectively balance that push for efficiency with the really human elements? Collaboration, trust, professional reputation.
Yeah, and what are the unexpected ripple effects going to be?
Yeah.
On our daily life, the broader economy.
Important questions. Definitely something for us all to keep thinking about as we navigate what's next.
For sure.
And remember, we are here to help here at Snarful, so do reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.